Now, in this video, we are going to start with the introduction to C language. So, what is the basic concepts of a C program? So, the basic concept in which we want to have the general structure of a C program. So, that means whenever we want to write the program, a C program, what are all the basic structures which is required? What are all the constituents of that particular program? So number one, which is the comments, and then comes with the preprocessor directives. Then we have global declarations. Then we have the main function. So we have the open braces with under that you have a declaration section, and then you have the executable section, and then close the braces here. So this is the general structure of a C program. You have comments, preprocessor directives, global declaration, and starts with the main function, and then we have a declaration section and the executable section. So comments, first we are going to take up the comments and the programming style. So basically comment is a programming construct which contains the short description explaining the purpose of each statement or a set of statements in a program. So which contains the short description. So that means whenever you write a one particular line, after writing the line, if you want to say why we need to write that particular line, so we can assign it as a statement or a comment, so that even if the other programmer, if he wants to go through the program, he should be able to understand for what reason you are trying to write that particular line in a program. So that is the main benefit of using the comments. The main purpose of using the comments is, one, it is very easy to read and understand the logic of the program. So that means whenever we write a program, to next to that on the same line, if we write the comments, then the other person will be able to understand what is the logic behind writing this particular line in a program. So if you can elaborate that by using a comment, and helps us to maintain and modify the program easily. So the advantage of using a comment is, if you have written something today and tomorrow if you want to just go through that, if you have not written the comments there, then you need to understand again and try to write it. Suppose if you have a comment there which is already written, for what reason we have selected this particular line, then modifying that line by some requirement, according to the requirement, if you want to change to modify, you can able to modify very easily. So that is the advantage of using the comments. And the most important is, it is a part of good programming style. Always it is better, a good programmer will always write the comments on that particular line after the end of that line, because it is a good programming style, so that anybody and everybody can able to understand the program easily. So that is the advantage. So this is the good programming style. So how the comment can be written? The comment can be written with two characters. One is the front slash and two characters. One, it is front slash and star. It starts with that, and end with star and front slash. It starts with the front slash and star and end with star and front slash. And the comments can appear anywhere in the program. And also there is no restriction for writing the comments. Whenever it starts having a front slash and starts and ends with star and front slash, the program, the compiler will not going to execute that particular line which after the starting with the front slash and star and ends with star and front slash. So thereby it will going to make the program becomes very easy. And then the preprocessor directives, the next heading. It starts with the symbol hash. The statement instruct the compiler to include some of the files in the beginning of the program. So that is the main requirement of giving a symbol hash. So it instructs the compiler to include some of the files in the beginning of the program. What are all the things which is required? For example, you can say hash include stdio.h within less than and greater than symbol instead dio.h. Similarly, include conio.h. So these two files, since it is a .h, so it is a header file. stdio.h and conio.h are called the header files, and hence the extension is .h. Using the preprocessor directive, the user can define the constants also. So what does it mean? For example, suppose if you want to define the global constant, so hash define max 1024. So whenever you encounter in any one of these programs within the main program, since you are defining the max value, so once it is declared in the preprocessor directive, the advantage is it will be able to take that constant anywhere in the program, and then slash hash define pi, which is equal to 3.1417. So this is about the preprocessor directives. So here, what is that max and pi? The max and pi are called the symbolic constants. Then it comes with the global declarations and definitions. Variables that are declared before all the functions are called the global variables. So variables that are declared before all the functions, so that means before the main function, if you are declaring the variable, then it becomes a global variable. That means within that particular program, wherever you encounter that particular variable, it will be considered automatically. So that is the advantage of using the global variable. So the global variables can be accessed by all the functions. So that is the main advantage. That is what I was talking about. Immediately after the functions are declared, the functions can be defined. So then we get the program header. What is the program header? The execution always starts from the function main, and it can be written as shown. So what is that? So we have void main within the open bracket and the close brackets within the void main. It tells the compiler that execution always starts from the function main. It is called the program header. So whenever you encounter this void main in any one of the programs, so we need to start from some point, somewhere, from some line we need to start. Whenever you encounter this void main within brackets, after the main you have to have the open bracket and the close the bracket. So that means it tells the compile that execution will going to be starts from this particular line. So that is what is called the program header. Whenever you want to write something, if you want to write something, we need to give some heading we need to give. Similarly, to that extent, here in the C program, if you want to write the program header, that means from where the program will going to start, then we can use void space main and within braces. So next is the body of the program. So a series of statements that perform a specific action will be enclosed within the braces. That means you have the open braces and then we have the closing braces, and present immediately after the program header is called the body of the program. Of course, when we are trying to write the actual programs, we are going to have the better understanding about all these things. But what you should know now at this juncture is, whenever you have a program header, that is the main, below that main line, that is the main function, you have a open braces, then you will start writing the body of the program, and then after completion of the body of the program, you just close this by using this square, this braces here. So then we have, it contains the two essential parts. What is the body of the program? One is the declaration section and then the execution section. So what is the declaration section we talking about? We talks about the declaration like declaring the variables first. The variables that are used inside the function should be declared in the declaration section. So whenever you try to write the program, so then first what we need to understand is, we need to understand what are all the you need to identify which are all the variables you have. So those variables should be declared in the declaration section. You give the name and declare the variable, then only you can use that name in the body of the program. So that is how we need to declare the variables. And the variables can also be initialized. For example, so I can say int is the variable which is an integer. Then the variable name, what is that variable name? The variable name is sum. The sum has been assigned a value equal to 0. Similarly, you can have int a semicolon, then float b, again it is a semicolon. So then it comes with the executable section. What is that executable section says? These are the building blocks of the program. So that means whatever you write here, so that will be the actual program pertaining to the given problem. They represent the instruction given to the computer to perform a specific task. Like if I want, say for example, I want to say simple interest. To calculate the simple interest, what I want PTR by 100. So this is the actual building block of the program. So you are trying to instruct the compiler or represent the instruction given to the computer. So what you are trying to say here, you are trying to say you have the principal value, you have the term, and you have the rate of interest. So then you calculate the value of SI, which is P into T into R by 1000. So that is the one which will going to perform the task here. And then perform the task. And then what you need to calculate here, I need to calculate the simple interest. So each executable statement, so whenever you are writing a statement in a body of the program, always that statement should be ending with semicolon. Always in each line, the ending of the statement should be with a semicolon. The instructions can be, what are all the instructions you can give? I can give the instructions as input output statement. That is, if you want to have this, how to give the input and how to take the output statements. Then we have the simple assignment statements and also the control statements. What are all the type of control statements you have? You have an if statement, for statement, do while, all those things which is going to come with the control statements. And the input output statement like simple assignment statements and input output statement like scanf and printf, which is the input and the output respectively. Similarly, simple assignment statements like simple, if you want to find out the SI, that is the simple interest. So this is an assignment statement. So then we have the control statements like if statement, do while, for statement, if then else statement, and all those things, etc. Then comes with the print statement. So what is how to print the statement, how to print the program. A small program we're going to write to say the display of the message I want. So what is that? Since I want to have an input and the output to display, so naturally you should include stdio.h, that is the header file. So we are trying to entering into the main program. So take main and within brackets. Then you have open the flower braces. Then you say printf within double quotes C programming. And then you close the braces now. So once you do that, so when you're trying to take the output will going to be just which will go to displays it as C programming. So why? Because it is just prints that particular line, whatever it has written within the codes. So this is how we will be able to understand the main structure of the C programming. Thank you.